So our second recipe is a summer barbecue chopped salad. Now this summer solstice salad is an embarrassment of riches. Just embarrassing because it's rich in flavor. I know. It's rich it was late last night when I was writing these. It's rich in flavor, it's rich in fiber, and several nutrients important for our health. It's also packed with protein because it contains chicken and black beans. Now, marinating animal proteins is, like the chicken in this recipe, is one way of significantly reducing the formation of those cancer-causing compounds during the grilling process. Another is to pre-cook the meat products, the chicken, the fish, ahead of time a little bit, either in a microwave or an oven. And grilling vegetables, as we talked about in the first recipe, does not produce the same compounds. So definitely go ahead and grill all the vegetables and fruits you want. But Jeremy now is going to show us how to reduce cancer-causing compounds through some tweaks in the grilling process.
Yes. Okay. So first thing is a marinade, right? Marinades are always great. You mentioned that already?
I mentioned a marinade. I don't think I said how long. It should be at least 30 minutes, right?
30 minutes minimum. And then you can do this overnight if you want in the refrigerator with meats and with vegetables. If it's fish, I would cap it at 30 minutes. Okay. I wouldn't go longer than that, especially if you have an acid component in your
It'll break apart.
Yeah, it starts with what we call denaturing the proteins of the fish. But 30 minutes to overnight is always good. If you're using animal-based proteins, the longer you go, the better. So for our marinade, and I'll show you where you can make some changes and substitutions as well. We're going to highlight one of my favorite ingredients. You know this.
I'm this.
Big fan of this. You can find a couple different varieties. You may see it just very generally labeled as Chinese black vinegar. It is a type of vinegar using usually a fermented grain or rice and aged in clay pots. It is very aromatic. It is very flavorful. Very, we call it umami. So it has this really nice sort of savory.
You know the word umami is going to come up at least once.
At least once.
Yes,
Really, really nice. You can definitely find it at in Toronto if you have a Nations or a T&T close by. Some grocery stores carry it as well. If you can't find it, you can definitely use a balsamic vinegar for this recipe. I mean, it's a marinade, so you can use any acid that you would like. Balsamic vinegar will be on the sweeter side, where this will be definitely more on that malty, that sort of malted grain side. So slight variation there. So that's what we're going to use as our acid.
How many of you have tried this type of vinegar? Yes. It's a couple.
Oh, okay. All right. So a couple tablespoons or so of vinegar. Depends on how much chicken you're marinating. We're using chicken thigh today. Now, again, I'll mention quickly as I do this. Chicken thigh, a little bit fattier. You can go chicken breast, which is a little bit leaner. If you're doing chicken thigh, like Tennille mentioned, the key here is to really try to limit the amount of flare-ups. And because chicken thigh is a little bit fattier, you will tend to get more flare-ups from the chicken thigh. So cooking it in the oven in advance, just until it's cooked through, and then you can finish it quickly on the grill if you want, or you can cook it on the grill in a method which we call indirect cooking. So if you have a barbecue, one side of your barbecue is on, the other side is off. You take your meat, your chicken, whatever it is, on the side that is off, and you can easily do this on a baking tray or a pan that fits, and then close the lid. And that sort of convection baking will prevent any contact from the flame.
From the flame.
Yeah, okay. In that case. Sorry. Vinegar. That was my little tangent. Vinegar, hoisin sauce here, which is going to give us a little bit of, a little touch of that sweetness, a little touch of that savoriness again. And then we will use some And take the brass garlic again, some more garlic.
More garlic.
More ginger.
I won't test the audience this time with garlic.
Yes. This is a, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to talk about the chicken stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, about the thighs and breast. And usually I say that the thighs are cheaper than the breast, but I learned yesterday that the cost of the thighs, chicken thighs, seems to be going up. Not sure why, but when it comes to protein, so yes, the chicken breast has less fat, especially when you remove the skin, than the thighs. But it's interesting to note that the protein content is about the same. So if we look at 100 grams serving, there's 26 grams of protein in the thighs and about 31 in the breast. So it's quite comparable from that perspective. Both are good quality proteins, excellent for helping us maintain our muscle mass, which is so important during or after cancer treatment. It's so easy to lose our muscle mass. Also, as we get older, it's hard to preserve our muscle mass. So having the chicken is an excellent option to get good quality protein.
Absolutely. Okay, so garlic and ginger in a jar. I'm doing this in the jar because it's a little bit easier for me to mix everything together, but you can do this in a bowl and whisk it. I just don't want more things to wash afterwards. So I think you're going to take a big bite of that ginger.
No.
Do it.
Oddly enough, you think I would think of food, but I'm thinking of the spa. There must be a lot of ginger.
All right.
Maybe I need a spa day.
You were smelling bananas before.
I know bananas before,
ginger.
now ginger spa.
All right, I like it. So here's our marinade. Here's our dressing. It's done. It's in the jar. I can save this in the fridge for whenever I need to use it, or use it right away. And we have some here that we did in advance. So this is some of those chicken thighs, just covered in that marinade, and then left in the fridge. And you can do this overnight, like we mentioned, or at least 30 minutes. Now I have some that are already done. They're cooking in the oven. Like I mentioned, you can do this in advance in the oven. If you are going to be using a grill, just a couple tips extra, because it's really the flame, that flare contact that we want to limit, right? Try to avoid as much as possible, but try to limit. A couple things. Watching your heat is, I think, really, really important. Trying not to step away from the grill, because that's usually when the big flare-ups happen. But also having something like this, which I learned years ago, and it's something that I always do, is have a spritz bottle at your grill station, okay? And in that spritz bottle, you can just put water, or you can put water with lemons or a little bit of vinegar if you want to make it fancy and flavorful. But the idea is that anytime you have flare-ups from the flame, or the flames sort of get out of control, you use your spritz bottle and you tame it down, okay? It's a lot easier than throwing an entire glass of water or your beverage over top of the grill. This does a much better job at that. So having a spritz bottle, and you can pick these up at the dollar store, you know, but it's just a really good tool, a really nice tool to have in hand to keep control of the flame.
Also to keep away people sneaking food.
Yeah, exactly. You can use it on people as well. Yeah. Stay away from my grill, for sure. So that's really helpful. Like we mentioned, cooking indirectly, not directly over the flame, or cooking over something. So you see like planks of like cedar where you can cook like fish on top of. We've done recipes where we'll wrap the fish or chicken in something else, so like in cabbage or in like grape leaves or something where you're trying to protect it again from that flame contact as much as possible. So those are a few ways in which you can help.
I do have a cabbage sitting at home.
There you go.
I don't have a grill. So spritz bottle, rasp I already have. Now I need to buy a grill. I'm all set.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, so we've cooked our chicken. Mine is in the oven because we don't have a barbecue, but whichever way you want to do it. And then to assemble. Now, we're doing this chop salad.
Yes.
So this idea of this chop salad is it's not like your typical salad. We want to really sort of maximize the satiation here that you
Wow,
don't
big word.
typically get. Well, I want to feel full right
Yes.
after, and salads tend to not do that all the time.
That's true.
So the idea of a chopped salad is we have some more filling ingredients in here to help with that. If you want to start off with your lettuce, you can definitely do that. We
I
have
don't know if I
just
should bring that.
mixed
here.
greens. Yeah. Do
There
this.
we go. Pretty.
A little bit. So, and you can do this in a big bowl, but we're just getting fancy with it. We'll just throw it on a plate. Just spread it out. Okay, so we've got some greens. I guess they're a traditional salad ingredient for sure. But now it's time to get serious. For a salad, I mean, you can really add whatever you want to this. You can add grilled vegetables, roasted peppers, summer solstice. We're starting to see in Ontario, this is such a small window. Our growing window for produce is so small. So this is when we get to start, get really excited with some of the Ontario produce. Strawberries, we're starting to see strawberries. Asparagus is we've had our time. People are starting to probably get sick of asparagus all the time, but asparagus is great too. Corn, which you can find, cucumbers, which we're doing a little more greenhouse stuff. But the idea is that we can add some more textures, black beans, so not only textures but some extra protein right in here as well.
Textures and color.
And color, yeah. So
And it looks like you've already grilled
yes,
the corn.
so grilled the corn doesn't have to be grilled corn. Like again, if you're turning on the grill anyways, you can throw some of that veg on there as well, zucchini, corn.
How do you
whatever it is.
grill your corn? Do you keep it in the
You could, and you know what?
leaves?
That is in the corn husk. That's a way
Corn husk.
you can sort of prevent it from over charring if you want, but I find it just messy taking it off.
I
after.
like the char.
Yeah, so I just peel them, and I don't really add anything. If I'm cooking vegetables, I try not to add too much to it before it goes on the grill, because most of it falls off, and it can also, those ingredients, like even with oil, it will just burn faster, and you're gonna get like this bitter taste. I put a little bit of spice in the first recipe, but try not to go too over the top there, because if those burns, you're gonna get a little bit of bitterness to it as well. If you add the dressing after, or the seasoning after, I think it just adheres much better to your grilled vegetables. So if you're grilling vegetables, you have a dressing for it, instead of doing it before, you can even give it a dressing afterwards. So some corn, got some cucumbers in here, these are nicely sliced. Cucumbers, throw the black beans, and again, really easy way, take some tinned black beans. But already we're adding texture.
And we talked about the chicken being protein, but also the black beans are providing us with a lot of protein in the salad. And that'll help with the satiation you mentioned earlier, feeling fuller because of the protein, but also the fiber. So just a half cup of black beans can actually give you about 8 grams of protein, which is pretty good, similar to what you would find in an egg, and about 8 grams of fiber. And we need about at least 25 grams of fiber per day. So this would be one easy way to get closer to our goal.
Yeah, absolutely. So now I'm being very particular.
Can I
But where
have
the
to zoom
strawberries-
in because it's just so beautiful. Look at
There you
that.
go. Yeah, strawberries, they're great in salad, right? Again, playing with not only textures, but the flavors. We have like some sweet, some savory, which go really, really well together.
We also have power couples here. So we love our power couples. So the iron in the beans are not as easily absorbed as the iron, let's say, from the chicken. But when you pair it with a food that is high in vitamin C, like the strawberries in this recipe, you're able to absorb about 50% more of that iron from the beans. So it's nature's way of helping us out in maximizing our health.
Love it. Okay, so chicken. Now, because we have the hoisin in the dressing, and this is where, just to be aware of it, we don't use the dressing. The hoisin will have a little bit of sugar, which will caramelize, so you'll get that sort of color on it, regardless, but not from actual flame contact. Pieces.
And so the color is probably a lot from the hoisin sauce
Yeah.
and the
The marinated sauce.
the marinated sauce. See people straining there. Okay,
You're on it, director.
I'm on it. Ooh, I don't know if you can smell the chicken yet. Yeah.
All right, so chopping it up, slice it or chop it roughly.
An artist and a chef. Well, a chef is an artist, right?
Some may.
Gorgeous.
Just dress it. Now, I didn't really add any dressing to the salad, just because I have all these really, really nice flavors already. So we'll just keep it pretty simple. We'll just add just a little bit of that lemon on top. Continue with the bright flavors. If you want a little bit of olive oil, you can do that too. But otherwise, just a very simply dressed salad.
I think we should change the name of this to an artisanal.
Artisanal.
Summer. Yeah, artisanal
Okay.
barbecue chopped salad.
I like the summer solstice
Yeah.
one as well. Well, there we go. There is our
Gorgeous.
summer barbecue chopped salad, highlighting our strawberries.